Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 58 and today we are starting things off in my base. But we're not going to be here for very long because we're actually going to be popping through into the shopping district to work on a little project that, I've been talking about for quite some time. This new build looks so cool. That is super sweet, but I think it also is housing my shulker boxes. If it's not, then I've lost a couple of shulker boxes with some really great items on the inside. Well, I found one of them, but the one that I actually need seems to be missing. You know what? I think I'm actually going to take out all of the shulker boxes that are currently stored in my storage system and chuck all of the items from them actually into the storage system because this place is getting cluttered again. This is why you look through your shulker boxes. What on earth? Where did all this come from? I was doing a build of terracotta the other day. I had to buy loads of it. What? Right, I'm feeling a lot more in order now. All of the shulker boxes have been completely cleared out. All of the items are now making their way into the storage system. I'm feeling calm. Okay, I do have one more shulker box left in my inventory, but we're actually going to need that for today's episode because today we're going to be building the end rod shop. Now, originally I was planning on building this up in the actual shopping district itself, but then I thought, you know what? We haven't actually constructed anything in the mall just yet, and this place is really starting to come together. There's plenty of shops popping up, and I kind of want to be involved in this little space. So I think I'm going to punch out a few blocks, and then we're going to create a fairly small little store, but it's going to be made out of expensive materials, so it looks kind of high-end. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I would say this is a pretty sweet start. God, this place looks expensive. I don't know where to go from here, though. I'd say just quite a nice little shallow store, maybe built out of white concrete. Just give me a second, I'll go grab some. I was curious, and then I was disappointed because I remembered that the statistics reset recently on the Hermitcraft server, so we'll never know how many white concrete blocks I've actually used, but 23,000 is still a decently large number. I mean, how many stacks is that? If someone wants to do the math, please let me know down in the comment section. I couldn't help myself, it's 360. Not actually that much. These seem nice. These seem nice. There's quartz on the inside of there. End rods, obviously it's an end rod store, so we have to be advertising the product somewhere. This is cool, and then I think this is just going to be the back of the shop. So it's going to be quite a small little one, but I would say it does the job. I really hope that this store is all fully stocked up with chorus plants. My fingers are very crossed. Okay, that's brilliant. So it is still 1 diamond for 3 stacks. So all of those, 3 diamonds, and that should give us a decent number of end rods, actually. That's quite good. But I think if this business goes well, I don't want to have to rely on another business for my business to work. So I think I'll have to build some form of chorus plant farm, but I'll be honest, I've never built one of those before. I don't even know what a chorus plant farm really looks like. I would have thought flying machines, potentially. I really don't know. Anyway, the store is now completely finished, all constructed and built. It has a name, it's called Whole Lot of Rods. It's very difficult for me to not say Whole Lot of Love, because that's one of my favourite songs. So Whole Lot of oh my word. Whole Lot of Rods. Jeez, it's so ingrained in my head. Okay, now it's time to look at the pricing, which is 1 diamond for 3 stacks. Now, I would say that's a pretty good deal. So you pay 1 diamond, you get 3 stacks of end rods, unless your name is Iskal, in which case, it's 1,000 diamonds for 1 stack. That's what you get. That is what you get for trying to charge me. First off, for trying to charge me 1,000 diamonds for 1 stack of end rods that you didn't even have, by the way. But then making me spend 15, probably 20 minutes haggling with you, trying to get you down until you got to 6 diamonds for 1 stack, which is still extortionate. And then you admit that you don't actually have any end rods. Shame on you. Shame on you. And I'm going to completely ignore the fact that I find it hilarious that he did that. I still find that funny. It still makes me laugh. That's just such a hilarious thing to do. Oh, he's so ridiculous. In the best possible way. Anyway, back over at the base now. There's one thing that's been bugging me, okay? I've been looking at the builds and everything's kind of coming together. I'm loving the way that the base is looking above the water. I mean, look at it. It looks so cool. Oh, this is definitely my favourite Hermitcraft base ever. And I say that every single season. But just the way that this block palette is working and the style of building, I really like this. And it's only getting better. And the more we add, the better it's going to look. But here's the thing. all of this stuff is floating on the water. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this... Okay, so that was a terrible example because this is the only building that actually has something underneath it. I was about to say, this doesn't look like it would be supported just by water, but obviously it's got this underneath. But this, look at this gigantic building, or this gigantic building. It wouldn't just float like that, would it? So I think we need to work on that today, and we need to work out something. Now, I did try in the early days to just come up with some kind of concept, and as you can see, I gave up really early. But I think if we stick with it and create something substantial enough, it could really bring the base to the next level. Now, I think the problem that we had with the previous designs of these flotation devices is that they didn't really look that solid. It was like one layer of blocks and then a layer of glass and then another layer of blocks. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a tiny bit more substantial and maybe do something like this and then have maybe a layer of... maybe 2 layers of stone bricks like that, and then maybe have another layer of slabs and then 1 layer of stone bricks like this, and that's how far down it will go. So it kind of looks like it's floating on something. I mean, I kind of think that works. Yeah, that looks a lot more supported than any of the other designs. I think we can all tell what's happened here. Yep. These are all my boats. These are all my boats from the various times that my elytra have broken and I've had to take a boat here. That's hilarious. Anyway, this build is now all completed and it is the tiniest detail. Like, for the amount of blocks that it requires, which it does require a lot of blocks, it's a very small detail, but I would say it's the detail that makes all the difference. So that is build number 1 completed. How many more builds do we have? So we've got that one, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, the enormous one, which is the sugarcane farm, 5, and then there's a bunch of there, so that's probably 6, and then all of the beacons. There's a lot of builds to cover. The dolphin superpower is so ridiculously overpowered. It's so fast that it's actually distracting how quick it is. Like, it's impossible to control. It's so difficult to control. Have I trapped this guy in here? Now, I think for small builds like beacons and things like that, it's not going to go quite as deep. So that's obviously going deep because it's quite big, whereas this will only have 1 of the layers. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of finding a rhythm here. I know what's going on. Now, I must admit, this would probably be easier with some form of conduit. However, I can't help but notice that I seem to be recovering quite quickly from the damage. I think I might just be okay to chill out down here. I mean, I'm going to use a lot of food, but it saves me having to go up and down above the water. This is great. Right, so I have managed to do all of the front section of the base. So the way that I'm seeing it is that this right here is the front section, then we've got like the left-hand side, the right-hand side, then of course we've got the back. So all of the front is now done, and this should give us a rough idea as to what it will look like all the way around. And the answer is, yeah, it looks much better. It looks so much cooler. The problem is, I'm starting to realise, with YouTube compression, there's a chance that you might not be able to see it that well. So this could be quite pointless. But no, that looks much cooler. These builds look so much more substantial. The city is actually kind of looking like it's based on something now, which is very, very handy. And they fit the style of the builds quite nicely. I really, really like it. I think they look super, super good. So, I guess now I've got to make my way around the sides and also the back, and we'll do all of these builds too. A big thank you to Green for actually providing me with some stone. I've completely run out of the stuff. I can't believe it. For probably about the 50th time in this Hermitcraft season, I am fresh out of stone once again. It's ridiculous how much I'm using. I keep forgetting to mention that I'm going to do a time lapse, so yeah, here it comes. So in today's time-lapse chat, I want to talk to you about Christmas, because it is currently the 19th of December, which means that we are almost at Christmas. We're 6 days away, and I want to talk to you about my plans for Christmas, because of course, you know, this is the time of year where you see all your family. I'm going to be spending time with my family, with my girlfriend, with my girlfriend's family. We're going to be doing all of those bits and pieces, and I assume that you are too. I mean, that tends to be everybody's plans during the Christmas season. So, that brings me on to the video schedule, which is always, you know, it's a little bit tricky during Christmas because generally speaking, it's so pointless for me to release videos on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day because nobody watches them. Because everyone's doing stuff, so nobody ever ends up watching them. I remember I put tons of effort into a Redstone video that I released one year. Released it on Christmas Day for some bizarre reason. Thought that was a good idea. And nobody really watched it. It totally flopped. So I tend to kind of stay away from that sort of period. And it also gives me the opportunity to take a little bit of a relax, take a little bit of a recharge, take some time away from making YouTube videos, and then I'll come back afterwards. So I think schedule-wise, what you guys can expect is, I think Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and potentially Boxing Day will be no video days. So no Redstone videos, no Hermitcraft episodes. We'll see what happens, but I think that's currently what I'm thinking at this point in time. So don't be too disappointed. Don't assume I'm dead when you tweet me on Twitter. I'm sure I'll get plenty of comments on my Twitter saying that, asking if I've died or not. I haven't. I'm taking some time out this Christmas, and I assume that all of the hermits are probably going to be doing the same. After placing many thousands of stone bricks and stone slabs, these things are now all fully done, and I put into practice a kind of concept that I came up with while I was building it, because I was thinking about how I wanted all of this to look, because it was starting to look a little bit strange, having all of the builds having the same depth in terms of their little foundations. So I started to think, you know, builds like this that have got a really small surface area but are quite tall would obviously need quite a large stabilizing area underneath, and I actually feel like that needs to be a tiny bit bigger because it just doesn't look stable. Whereas something like the sugarcane farm, that has got a massive amount of surface area but it's not particularly tall, so it kind of looks like, even if we have a relatively small base on it, it looks like it would float properly, and that adds some variety into the mix. So you get some builds that have big foundations where you get other ones that don't have quite as large foundations, and I don't know, it adds a little bit of variety. It makes things look a little bit better. So I'm really happy with how this entire area is coming together, but we're going to move away from this now because there's something else that I really want to do in today's Hermitcraft episode. So let's get over there. You know, I was panicking the other day about the fact that I didn't think I had that many diamonds, but I'm definitely doing fine. This is ridiculous. Come on then, where is it? I've completely forgotten it. Have I gone in the totally the opposite direction? I've seriously gone in the total opposite direction. So, we're back over here at the golf club that has been constructed by Concorp, and it is ridiculous. This is the new clubhouse, which is absolutely beautiful. I love the way. This is such a cool idea because they are actually light sources, but the thing that the thing that's giving off the light isn't actually the lamp. It's the actual stick that holds the lamp up, which is really smart. But anyway, what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be taking a look at Mr. Cubfan's driving challenge. So it's not car driving challenge, it's golf driving challenge. How far you can hit the ball, essentially. I really wish I was a member here so that I could use the swimming pool. Don't tell anyone, but it's nice and warm too. Thankfully, the rulebook for this thing isn't 42 pages long, it is only 5 pages long. So we've got the Hermitcraft long drive contest. Objective, throw the ender pearl as far as possible onto the driving range. Start by paying 1 diamond to play. Grab 3 ender pearls from the chest and 1 sign. Use any trident to try to throw the ender pearl as far as possible down the driving range. Long drive shots only count in the north direction from this tee down range, not south back towards the clubhouse, and must land in the driving range to count. As before with the course, don't use Elite Tread TNT Bow to boost yourself further. Use a sign and your name to mark the point of your longest drive. Each contestant only gets 3 attempts total, so make them count. The winner is whoever throws their pearl the furthest. Now, that's all well and good, and I am going to do that, but according to Cubfan, I can actually buy some practice ender pearls. So I've bought 2 stacks, and I'm going to give a few a go. Okay, here comes my first attempt. Now, I'm trying to be mathematical here, so I have my F3 screen up, and I pointed it at 30 degrees. And it seems like that was a pretty good start. That seems pretty good to me, but there are some signs here. Exuma. Cub 254. Well, I wasn't far off the running there. This one feels like a really good one. Ah, that's close! 25 degrees fell slightly shorter. I am so glad I purchased 32 practice ender pearls because I am determined to win. But I can't help but notice that now that more people have joined the game, my distances are actually getting shorter. However, I'm now just going to go for it. I've got my 3 ender pearls, I've got my signs, this is the first one. We're not using the fork of friendship, we're using the driver, and I've got to line myself with 180 degrees, and I'm going to go for 27.5 degrees in my height. Alright, almost there, okay. Yeah, there was a delay there. There was a delay between me launching and my ender pearl. Oh, and it means that I have fallen so short. I've done the worst. Yeah, I don't know how far I've gone, but it's pants. Nobody cares anyway. Ugh. Right, I'm gonna try 180.27. Here goes. I don't know about that one. Oh, what? It's even worse. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna save this ender pearl. Okay, we're gonna save it. And I'm going to do this when there's no one else on the server, so I have optimum connection. That's how seriously I'm taking this, right? I'm gonna do it with no one else on the server, so watch this space. I've also totally run out of food, so even if I wanted to do it again, I'd probably die in the process, which doesn't seem like a wise move. I'm not willing to die for golf. I mean, for me, golf is... it's not my sport. I didn't actually mention this while I was in the competition and doing the ender pearls, but did anyone notice how crazy that net was on the side of the driving range? I saw Cub doing that in his episode, but I just wanted to draw your attention to it. If you hadn't noticed, go back and look. How many cobwebs? How long was he doing that for? Anyway, back over to civilization now, away from the golf course. I thought it would be a good idea to check on some recent projects and just, you know, give them a look over. So first things first, I just want to make sure that this is still functional. Now, where is it? I've hidden the redstone quite well. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm hoping that it is all functioning, but I'm not seeing any chickens around here, which isn't the best of signs. But it does seem to be functioning properly. I just watched it fire, but I was way too late to start recording. My reaction time there was absolutely awful. But it is functioning. I guess just the chance of getting a chicken is much lower. I hope that it's not killing them, though. Actually, on the topic of Grian and things going on the server, I can't help but notice all of the comments and also Grian's video of them heisting the stock exchange. The stock exchange has just recently been heisted by Grian and False Symmetry, but I can't help but notice that Grian was trying to disguise himself as me. I mean, how ridiculous is that? I can't quite believe it. In fact, there's been a lot of stuff happening on the server lately. There's been, you know, birds, well, chickens being built on people's bases that are pooing over things, and there's been signs swapped around. There's all sorts of funny business going on. So I'm going to try my best to stay out of it. You know me, I'm quite a chilled out guy. So I'm going to try my best to not ruffle any feathers or do anything that yeah, causes issues. But it seems like there's lots going on. That's for sure. While we're here, we might as well check. Okay. Not exactly, yeah, slime's not exactly flying off the shelves. Neither, it seems, are pumpkins. And my rockets haven't exactly been selling too well either. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look like we've really sold any. Oh, yeah, my stores aren't exactly, they're not really bringing in too much. Now, when I made the film store, I said that I was going to make a commercial about once a month or once every 2 months, just because I didn't want to bore you guys to death with loads and loads of commercials coming out constantly on my YouTube channel, essentially. And then as soon as I opened it, I got like six orders came through. But it looks like we do still have 2 open orders, which is more lads from Tango. Now, it does say need advertising stat, which means that there's a chance that this one might be a bit overdue. But there's also this one from iJevin for the Sponge Shack. So I'll have to put the message out to both of those. I'll have to ask if that's something that they still do want, because they are quite fun to work on, those things. So we have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a very varied episode of Hermitcraft. We built the store in the mall. We did all of the areas underneath all of our builds. We did some golf stuff. We did some general shop maintenance. We've kind of been all over the place today, but it's been a lot of fun. And you know what? I think to round things off, I'm actually going to go AFK in my base, and I'm going to try and get plenty more resources so that I can put them in shops that nobody goes to. Yeah, it sounds like a really, really profitable plan. Anyway, I really do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please sure to that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.